So you've got an empty living room, a blank slate brimming with potential. But let's be honest, it's also just a little bit terrifying. You're scrolling through all these incredible, sophisticated mid-century modern living rooms, and you're thinking, yes, I want that. You want the clean lines, the warm woods, that effortless cool. But how do you actually get there? How do you go from a bare room or a space you've just completely fallen out of love with to a cohesive retreat without it turning into a chaotic, expensive mess? The gap between the pinboard and the reality can feel massive. It's a lot to think about. And that feeling of being overwhelmed is the number one reason people never even get started. But what if I told you we could go from this blank, maybe even confusing space, to this? Stick with me, because I'm going to give you the complete step-by-step playbook for creating your own gorgeous mid-century modern living room, breaking the whole thing down into simple, easy-to-tackle decisions. Number 1, the plan, defining your vision. Before we even think about buying a single thing, we need a plan, a North Star for our design. The biggest mistake I see people make is buying individual pieces they love without a cohesive vision, and then they're stumped when it doesn't all work together. We're not going to do that. First, let's have a quick chat about what mid-century modern, or MCM, even is. At its heart, this style, which popped up between the 40s and 60s, is all about clean lines, organic shapes, and making things functional. Think furniture that feels light and airy, often lifted off the ground by those signature tapered legs. It's a celebration of natural materials like wood and a layout that feels open and uncluttered. It's stylish, but it's absolutely meant to be lived in. So how do we turn that into a concrete plan? We make a mood board. Trust me on this. For a full makeover, this is non-negotiable. Hop online and start a Pinterest board, or go old school with a foam board and some magazines. The goal is to gather 4 or 5 images that really capture the feeling you're going for. Don't just pin furniture. Look at colors, textures, and lighting. My mood board for this space is all about creating a warm, inviting feel. I've picked images with rich walnut wood, a super comfy sofa that still has clean lines, and a mix of textures like leather and soft fabrics. The color palette is mostly neutral, but with these deep, earthy pops of olive green and burnt orange. This board is now our guide. Every single decision we make, from the paint to the pillows, gets checked against it. Does it fit the vibe? If not, it doesn't get in the room. We're going to follow a clear path. Start with the foundation walls and color, then we'll pick our big anchor pieces. After that, we'll dial in the function and flow, layer in lighting, and finally bring in all those beautiful finishing touches. Number 2, the process, the makeover. Step 1, the foundation, paint and color palette. All right, the room is empty and we're ready to roll. The first and honestly most impactful decision is your wall color. A classic MCM palette is rooted in nature and warmth. You'll want to steer clear of stark, icy whites or cool grays because they can clash with the warm wood tones that are so key to the look. We're starting with a base of warm neutrals. Think creamy whites, soft beiges, or a light taupe. This creates a beautiful, clean canvas that really lets the furniture be the star. For this room, I'm going with a warm white. It feels bright and airy, but has just enough of a creamy undertone to feel welcoming. Now for the fun part, the accents. This is where the personality shines through. Mid-century color palettes often lean into earthy tones like olive green, mustard yellow, and rust, or even bolder pops of teal and burnt orange. Our mood board called for olive and orange, so I've mentally bookmarked those for things like pillows, art, and decor. This strategy, a neutral base with colorful accents, is the safest and most effective way to get that MCM feel without making your room look like a vintage costume. Step 2, the anchor pieces,
the sofa and the media console. With our color foundation down, it's time to bring in the big guns. The anchor pieces are these largest items that will really define the room's style. In a living room, that's almost always the sofa and a major storage piece, like a media console. Let's talk sofas. The silhouette is everything. You're looking for one that's low profile, has clean, straight lines, and, this is crucial, has visible legs that lift it off the floor. Tapered wooden legs are a signature MCM feature. Try to avoid anything with big, puffy, rolled arms or a skirt that hides the legs. For color, a warm neutral like camel, charcoal, or cream is incredibly versatile. I've picked out a beautiful sofa in a durable warm gray fabric. It has that classic rectangular shape and tapered walnut legs. It's the perfect anchor. Next up, the media console. A long, low credenza in a warm wood like walnut or teak is pretty much the most iconic MCM piece you can own. It's gorgeous and it's a workhorse. Look for simple hardware and those same signature tapered legs. This piece doesn't just ground your TV, it adds a huge dose of that warm, organic feeling we're chasing. Step 3. Function and flow, the supporting furniture. Now that our anchors are in, we can build the layout around them. The goal is a room that feels open and actually encourages people to talk to each other, not just stare at a screen. A great way to do this is with 1 or 2 accent chairs. This is your chance to play with different shapes and textures. While the sofa is straight and tailored, a chair can bring in some beautiful organic curves. A leather armchair adds a layer of sophistication and will develop a gorgeous patina over time. I found an amazing chair with a walnut frame and cognac leather that contrasts so well with the soft fabric of the sofa. For the coffee table, think about shapes. If your sofa and console are very rectangular, an oval or even a round coffee table can soften the room and make it easier to walk around. The key, again, is to maintain that light, airy feeling. So look for pieces with clean lines and legs that lift them off the floor. One common misstep is picking furniture that's too big and bulky. MCM design is all about human scale. The room should feel furnished, but never crowded. Always make sure you leave clear pathways to walk through.
Step 4. Grounding the space, the rug. Never, ever underestimate the power of a good rug. It's the one thing that pulls the entire seating area together and makes it feel deliberate. The biggest mistake you can make here is getting a rug that's too small. As a general rule, you want at least the front legs of your sofa and all of your chairs to be sitting comfortably on the rug. This is what defines the zone and connects all the furniture. Style-wise, you have some great options. A rug with a geometric pattern is a classic MCM choice. You could also go for an abstract design or even a simple textured neutral like jute or wool. I've chosen a rug with a subtle geometric print in cream, black, and a little touch of that burnt orange from our color palette. It perfectly ties into our accent colors and grounds the entire seating arrangement. Step 5. Layering the light. Lighting in an MCM room is like jewelry. It needs to be both functional and sculptural. And let me tell you, one overhead light is not going to cut it. You have to layer your lighting to create mood and atmosphere. Look for iconic shapes. An arc floor lamp is a fantastic way to get light into the middle of a seating area without calling an electrician. Sputnik chandeliers, globe lamps, or tripod floor lamps are all hallmarks of the style. Don't be afraid to mix metals, but to keep the look cohesive, try to stick to one main finish for your big fixtures. Brass is a classic choice that adds warmth and just a touch of glam. For this space, I'm using a large arc lamp that swoops right over the seating area, casting a warm glow. I've also added a simple table lamp with a ceramic base on the media console for another layer of soft ambient light. Step 6. The details. Art, plants, and textiles.
This is the final and most fun layer. It's where the room really comes to life. But remember, one of the core ideas of MCN design, keep it simple and uncluttered. Every object should feel intentional. When it comes to art, look for graphic and abstract prints. Geometric shapes are a perfect match. You can totally do a gallery wall. Just make sure the frames are consistent to keep that clean, cohesive look. Textiles are how you'll add softness and bring in your accent colors. I'm pulling in pillows in olive green velvet and a burnt orange linen. A soft textured throw blanket draped over the sofa instantly makes the space feel cozier and lived in. The secret here is to mix materials, the smoothness of the wood, the softness of the fabric, the texture of the rug, the sleekness and metal. That combination is what keeps a room from feeling flat. And finally, add life with plants. Greenery brings in an organic element that was central to the MCM philosophy of blurring the lines between indoors and outdoors. A fiddle-leaf fig or a snake plant in a simple ceramic planter is the perfect finishing touch. And here it is. We went from a blank, overwhelming space to a warm, inviting, and totally cohesive mid-century modern living room. Look how the warm white walls make the rich walnut of the media console and chair just pop. The low-profile sofa feels sleek, but is still so comfortable, and those tapered legs on every piece create that signature lightness, which actually makes the room feel bigger. The rug perfectly defines our conversation spot, and its subtle pattern ties into the colors in the pillows and the art. See how the arc lamp isn't just a light, it's a piece of sculpture in the room. And all those little details, the texture of the pillows, the curated books on the coffee table, the pop of green by the window, they all work together because we followed our plan. It feels layered and personal, but not cluttered. This is a space that's sophisticated enough to entertain in, but comfortable enough for a quiet night at home. It's a room with character.
Conclusion. So there you have it. A full makeover broken down into clear, achievable steps. See? When you start with a vision, make a plan, and just take it one decision at a time, foundation, anchors, layout, lighting, and details, it's not so overwhelming after all. You absolutely can create the designer-inspired living room you've been dreaming about. Good design isn't about having a limitless budget. It's about making intentional choices. The most important thing is to create a space that you truly love to live in. If you found this guide helpful and you're feeling ready to tackle your own design projects, I'd be so grateful if you hit that subscribe button for more step-by-step makeovers. And I would love to know what you think of this transformation, so drop a comment below and tell me your favorite part of this makeover. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.